get you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat?
Someone's in the back seat! Tell me where you are, John!
Wolfman's got Nards!
Hi guys, my name's Barry and welcome back to the channel and welcome to my first live of the year. I did say in social media that I've not been doing a lot of lives lately, and it's mainly because it's the time difference between me and 90% of my viewers is it's hard for me to choose a time to do a live stream and all you guys actually being there. I remember back in the day when I'd done live streams, I would have to start them at like 2 in the morning, 2 a.m. that is. And when I do 2 a.m. live streams, well, when I did do the 2 a.m. live streams, I had like, I don't know, 200 plus viewers on the live chat. And it was fantastic. It was great to communicate with everybody in the chat and stuff. But it was quite tired. I mean, I was very tired at the end of it and not getting to my bed till late. And then it's just hard the next morning. So I kind of have to, no, I did have to stop doing them because it was just causing havoc with my sleep pattern and stuff. So I stopped doing them a lot. And then when I did do them now and again, I wasn't getting the viewers that I used to get. And it's mainly because of the times that I'm doing it. Just now, it's 10:30 at night here in the UK. I know that some of you guys in the US are probably a little bit earlier, like maybe 4 p.m. and stuff like that. So it is what it is. I need to try and get used to it. But this live stream, I'll talk horror, I'll talk horror news, and just general chit chat with you guys. But I think this is just a tester to see what times might suit me best to do live streams. If I get enough people watching and enough conversations with people, then I'll try and do similar times throughout the week. Hopefully Wednesday, Thursday nights might be ideal for me. The weekends it's hard, but I do try. So we'll get into who's here first of all, who could have made it into this live stream. We've got Marcel. Hello, Marcel. We've got Jean Widdicombe. Hello, Jean. Ghoul Games. Hi. We've got Schmack Dynamite. Welcome. We've got the TSL Movie Podcast. Evening, sir. I'm assuming this is Frank now because Darren's actually at the Abigail press screening. I got invited to that as well. Unfortunately, me being up in Glasgow, it was just too far to travel. So I wish I was there with you, Darren, if you're watching. It does look good, so I'm looking forward to seeing it eventually. But hello, Frank. I'm sure it's Frank. We've got Vanderhoff. What's up, Barry? Watching Thanksgiving commentary for Eli Roth. Amazing. I've not seen the commentary on Thanksgiving. I think that would be an interesting one because it looks like a lot of people on that film, especially Eli Roth, had a good time making it. So the commentary for the film would probably be pretty decent. Okay, we've got Emma here, Emma Cambridge. Welcome. Is this your first time being in the chat, the live chat, Emma? I know that we communicate on Twitter and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. So it's good to see you in the chat. Evening. Michael Kaiser's here. I'm so ready for Terrifier 3. Yeah, we're going to get into Terrifier 3. 2 seconds. We'll get into Terrifier 3 because I never realized how big Terrifier would end up. Because obviously it's just an independent movie, and the fact that Terrifier 3, the news is it's going to cinemas only to begin with, of course. It's just mind-blowing because I know that the first Terrifier didn't go to cinemas. The second one, I think, got like a very limited release, even though it made quite a lot of money per screening. So it makes sense. Yeah, it's 5:30 p.m. in Florida. That's good to know because I like to know. I could obviously look it up, but it's good to get your feedback while we're live in the chat. So that's good. We've got Rob from the Movie Vault. Hey, Barry. Well, not hey, Barry. Hey, Barry to me. Hi, Rob. Nice to see you here. Rob is on the same time as me, so it's good to see that some people from the UK have joined. Hello, Dawson. How are you doing? Gil Games said the actors of Terrifier 3 reportedly almost vomited on set. That's interesting. Oh, it is Darren. It's Darren on my way home. You must be on the train or a taxi. A black hack. You'll love it. Favorite horror of the year. That's good to know, Darren, but I don't think it's that hard to say it's your favorite horror film of the year because I don't think a lot of horror movies have stood out for me so far this year. I've only seen a few, but it's interesting, and Abigail does look really good. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'll probably hopefully go and see it this weekend if I've got the time. Welcome to the chat, Kywin Calendar. Kywin said, yeah, I didn't like part 2. I liked the part 3 of this movie. What movie? You've said, I didn't like Terrifier 2, but I liked Terrifier 1 a little bit, but it got hard to get used to. It was sort of a Nightmare on Elm Street rip-off. I was Terrifier 2. I don't understand what you're saying, Kevin. Sorry. I think you're saying that you think it's basically like a Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't know about that. Emma said, I have been on one before, the Halloween one. Terrifier 1 and 2 both freaked me out big time. Yeah, Terrifier 1 freaked me out, but not because I was scared of it or anything like that. I was kind of taken aback and surprised by how good a quality Terrifier 1 was. I don't think it was a good film. I think it was not the best film, to be honest, but it is an independent movie, and they done what they could with the budget that they had. It was okay. It was watchable. It was serviceable for an independent film. But I think they upped the ante with Terrifier 2. And I genuinely believe that Terrifier 2 is almost what I'm trying to give a comparison here. It's like what they done with Terminator 2 compared to Terminator 1. I know that some people still prefer Terminator 1 over Terminator 2, but I think the difference in quality and budget between Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 is similar to Terrifier 1 and Terrifier 2. So there you go. I've just compared Terminator to Terrifier. Apologies. Gil Games is from Scotland. So it's the same time for you as well. Oh, it's nice to see that there's people from Scotland in the chat as well. One thing about me creating this channel was when I created the channel, I wasn't expecting anyone from Scotland to know about the channel. In fact, for the first couple of years, I hoped and prayed that no one from Scotland would actually find my channel because I was too embarrassed to have a channel, to be honest. I didn't want people to know. But I think as the years went by, I actually wanted people from Scotland to communicate with me through the channel because I wanted to set up and create a Scottish network as well. It's not quite happened because we just don't get that many people from Scotland that like films or horror films, I should say. So it's a bit of a shame. Van der Hoff said, I'm sure you remember, Barry, this is a horror movie and a beer from Instagram. Yeah, of course. I know who you are, Van der Hoff. We chat privately sometimes through Instagram, and Van der Hoff does these really cool tombstones. He made one for Frank and Darren for that Frank has in the background. They're pretty cool as well. So yeah, of course, I know who you are, Van der Hoff. You've been a long time member of my channel as well, which is quite nice. The Movie Vault, Rob said, I ran the Irish premiere of Abigail last week. The child actress attended and gave a nice intro. Oh, that's cool. Is the child is she American? I'm assuming she's American. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen her in anything. I think people want her to play Sidney Prescott's daughter in Scream 7. I don't know if that's because there's a connection between Melissa Barrera and the Scream franchise. But who knows? Maybe she was good. Yep. Gilgain said Terrifier 1 had atrocious acting, to be honest. I don't disagree with you there. I think some of the actors in it, the two girls were pretty good. Everyone else, like the side characters and stuff, were terrible. But again, what do you expect for the budget they had? And I don't even think they knew how big Terrifier was going to be after Terrifier 1. And I think it only gained that notoriety because of the kill, the upside down body when she gets halved in two. I think that's the only reason that it gained that notoriety. And then obviously Terrifier 2, because of that scene, they had to then up the ante, and my God, they did. Kaiwan said, I watched a YouTube and I think that the Scream movies are postmodernism. Do you consider postmodernism? I don't know what you mean, Kaiwan. Do you mean like the Scream movies are too modern? I'm not sure if that's what you mean. Sorry, I can see the TV in the background there, and I'm watching the Man City and Real Madrid game. If anyone's into football, aka soccer, the quarterfinals is on right now, and it's penalties. And Luka Modric has just missed a penalty for Real Madrid. Man City are going through. Damn. Yeah, the Scream movies. Yeah, I knew you meant that. Emma, the second one was so much better, but art just freaks me out. Yeah, art does freak me out as well. I think David Howard Thornton does a really good job of being a creep in the films, like a creepy clown that doesn't have any lines. So I think it's an easier job than, say, Bill Skarsgård. And Gil Games, I think I've been here since 25 to 30k subs. Now you're nearly at 100k. Oh, well, thanks very much, Skill. I think it was only like a year and a half ago I was on. Oh, it's a save. It was about a year and a half ago I was on about 25k, 30k. It's only in the past year and a bit the subscribers have just skyrocketed. I don't know if that's a blessing or anything, because when you see someone with 7,000 to 8,000 subscribers, you would expect massive numbers on their videos. And I think anytime I get big numbers in my videos, I'm like, yeah, that's great. But anytime I upload a video that's not Halloween related and not Scream related, it just doesn't do the numbers. And sometimes it feels disheartening, but at the same time, I have to accept that, because I know that a lot of people subscribe to me because of the Halloween content. A lot of people subscribe because of the Scream content as well. So if you're not getting what you've subscribed for, then why would you watch? So I completely understand that. And people do ask me, how did you get so many subscribers in the last year? Well, for those of you who don't know, there's a channel called the Film Theorists they're double the size of Dead Meat. Basically, they've got 13 million subscribers, and they uploaded a video last year, just over a year ago, about how to beat the smile demon or the smile monster. And they referenced me in their video, they referenced my channel, and they spoke about my channel quite a bit in the video about my theory on the movie on Smile. And it went on for a good minute or so. And ever since then, especially at that moment when they uploaded that, I think my subscribers jumped up a couple of hundred every day. Like I was sometimes getting 400 subscribers in that first day. And I'm like, what? And my views weren't even going up. Like for videos, I'm like, right, okay, my video views are not going up. What are they watching that's causing all these subscribers? I thought it was like a spam thing. And it turns out it was genuine subscribers. And then people started to contact me saying, oh, dude, the film theorists just referenced you in a video. And I'm like, no way. I didn't know who they were. But the first thing I done was look at their subscriber count, and 13 million subscribers. So it's just the equivalent of Dead Meat talking about your channel twice, because Dead Meat's on like 6 million subscribers. This channel is over double the size of Dead Meat, and they referenced my channel. And ever since then, it's kind of went away up and then across and away up and again. And obviously with Scream and Halloween content, that helps bring it along. When Scream 6 came out, the channel shot up again. So it's good. It's good getting the numbers of subscribers, but I just wish and preferred that it would be more of this, like talking to you guys and getting the views rather than the subscribers. If I could swap the subscribers with more views, I certainly would, because subscribers is great, but it's the interaction with you guys that's more important. I went on in a long rant there, guys. Sorry. Darren said it's the girl who played Matilda, Abigail. She's Irish. That'll be why she was in Ireland then, at Rob's screening in Ireland. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Ali Girl, welcome to the chat. Ali said, Happy Wednesday. I hope you all are having a great afternoon. Yeah, it's evening for me, unfortunately, but yeah, I hope you all are having a good afternoon. Sean Green, welcome to the chat. Sean said Terrifier was great because it was cheap and cheap and nasty. That's something people from Scotland would say, cheap and nasty. Sorry, it's 3-2. What? Sorry, we've got a goalkeeper hitting a penalty before the fifth penalty is getting taken. That's bizarre. And we scored it. Right. Apologies, guys. Soccer is getting ahead of me. Vanderhoff said, Barry, I would love to make you a tombstone if you're interested. Vanderhoff, I would love nothing more than for you to make a tombstone for me. However, I'm in Scotland and I don't want you to spend all that money to send an item over to the UK. A couple of years ago, I would say absolutely, but you would be spending a lot of money to send that over here. I used to send and receive stuff with Lee from Drum Dums. We would send each other packages of random stuff. That I would send him stuff from Scotland. He would send me stuff from the US, and we had to stop because the prices all of a sudden went up. It was costing like $70 to send an item from the UK to the US, and I said it to Lee. I said he wanted the Dawn of the Dead 4K, which was already like equivalent of say $75, and I told him, listen, it's going to cost about $140 for me to send this to you, including the price of the item. And he's like, okay. And then we just stopped doing it because it was just too expensive. So I would absolutely love one of your tombstones, Van der Hoff, and I would happily display that in the house. But I wouldn't want you to spend all that money, especially the size of that thing. It probably cost you a fortune to send that over, but it's a nice gesture, and I thank you very much for that. And I do love them; they are great. Michael said, Terrifier 1 has a snuff film like quality to it. Yeah, absolutely. To the look, Damien Leone said they're going back to that hardcore edge for 3. Yeah, I know that he tried to get Terrifier 3 picked up by a studio so that I could get a wide release, like a nationwide release. And a studio, I think he mentioned that one of the studios said, yep, we're absolutely going to take this. So they were about to release it. They were about to take it under the wing. And they said, right, this is what you need to cut out, though. And we can't include such and such and this and that. And Damien's like, nah, this is my film. We'll do what I want. And if you don't want to do that, then we'll just go our own separate ways like we did for the first 2 movies. And fair play to Damien Leone. He just declined and he said, nope, we're just going to go our own way. It sounded like he was trying to call their bluff, but it didn't work. And he's like, that's fine. We'll just go our own way. So happy days for him. It means that he gets to make the Terrifier 3 that he wants to make. They've probably still got a good budget, considering it's still classified as an independent movie. So I'm very interested to see where they go with that. Now, before I go into any more chats, let me just stick this up. Oh, yeah. I know we've all seen this image anyway, but just to tell you, and I think you all know now, that Terrifier 3 has officially wrapped production. So I'm hoping that in the next few weeks to a month or so, we might get our next trailer or our first trailer. I know we did get a trailer before, but that was just a teaser. And it had footage that was probably not going to make it into the movie. So it'd be good to get a first full trailer in the next few weeks or so, because it's wrapped up now. So yeah, looking forward to it. Rockland Graves Productions is in the house. Cheers, Barry. Glad I caught this. I'm glad you're here. Like I said, I've said it at the beginning. I'll say it a few times throughout the period of this live stream that I'm just trying to get back into live streams again, build my live stream audience. I've got my audience out with the live streams and the pre-recorded stuff, but I need to try and get my live streams back up again. I would like to promise a live stream every week, but I can't do that. But I'm going to try and aim for maybe a Wednesday night or a Thursday night live stream. Now, that puts me on to another point here. I do have a live stream on Saturday night with David Effrey. This is the thumbnail that I'll be using, and I'll be using this thumbnail moving forward with any guests that I get on with live streams that are going to be putting their face on my thumbnail with their name, whatever name they want to use, and then the subject matter at the other side, whether that be left or right, it doesn't matter. So the next one that we're going to be doing is with David Effrey, and we'll be doing that this Saturday. My time will be 9 p.m. His time is 1 p.m. and I think it's 4 p.m. EST on the eastern side. So make sure you check that out. It's our top 10 zombie horror movies. I've known Davey for quite a while, but we haven't really interacted much until recently. And I did reach out online. Well, I said online, does anybody want to do some collaborations? And David got in touch with me and said he'd love to do a collaboration with me. And one of the things that I do when people ask if they can do a collaboration is I check out their content to see if it coincides with my stuff. And if it does, then I'm like, let's do it. And David's content is pretty good. He knows his horror stuff. We're around about the same age, and we have similar interests in horror as well. So it was a no-brainer for me to get that done. I do get requests from people now and again that they seem fine, they seem nice and stuff, but when I check out their channels that are still pretty good, they've got nothing to do with the content that I deal with. So I get like, I don't know why, but I get a lot of wrestling guys contacting me, and again, their content's great, but we don't share the same interests. So I don't know what they would get out of it, and I wouldn't get anything out of the live streams either. And it doesn't matter how big a channel is, if it's big or small, that doesn't bother me. A channel can have 10 subscribers, a channel can have 10,000 subscribers, and I'll still say yes if the content is similar to mine. Or, you know, I'm not saying I'm the one to give people a chance. I was given a chance when I was at 10 subscribers. So I think that everybody deserves that chance to get subscribers for themselves. Moving on, and I've lost my place. Here we go. Here we go. Ali said, I met David at a con last August, and he's a really nice guy. Terrifier 2 is definitely my favorite. David who, Ali? Do you mean Davey? Like David Effrey? Or David Howard Thornton, sorry. Yeah, David Howard Thornton. Yeah, he seems like a nice guy. I saw him, was it last year? Or the year before? The Terrifier guys, it was last year. The Terrifier guys came to Manchester for our con that we have called For the Love of Horror. Damien was there. Lauren Lavira was there that plays Sienna, and David Howard Thornton was there, and so was Elliot, the little boy, the Sienna's little brother. And yeah, David seems like a nice guy. Jean says, I should have said hi from the US. That's fine. I think, again, Jean, most of my subscribers are from the US. So I always assume, I never assume, but I do, that my viewers are from the US, because I think when I look at the stats and stuff, I think it's like 65% of my viewers are from the US, and you've got like 20% or something from Canada. So like the majority of my viewers are from North America. So Vanderhoff said, I watch every video you put out. That's dedication for you, Vanderhoff. I don't even watch every video I put out, so you probably put in more watch time than me. So thank you very much. Mark Jones is here, says, hey, Barry. Hey, folks. Yeah, you can chat amongst yourselves as well, guys. Yeah, I can see that people are chatting to each other. That's pretty good. Born to be Rad. How you doing? He says, what's going on, man? I wanted to pop in to say what's up. I'm doing good. Hopefully you're doing well as well. Born to be Rad. For those of you who don't know, I actually just started watching Born to be Rad about 3 or 4 months ago. Had no idea you existed until now. And that's a great thing about this community, is you can have channels that are out there for years and you just don't know they exist until now. And that's all thanks to the silly algorithm from YouTube that just don't recommend the channels that you should be getting recommended to. And then when I saw Born to be Rad's channel, everything that he puts out there, I'm like, I love it, like it, brilliant. I'm an 80s kid, love this stuff so much. And I didn't even find your channel through YouTube. I found it through a person, through a friend of a friend. So I'm glad I was recommended your channel from like-minded people in the community. So welcome to the chat. Gil Games said, I'm going to meet Lynn Shay at a convention in Manchester in October, and I am hyped. Are you going to for the love of horror? If you are, I'll be there. Emma wants to meet Lynn Shay as well. Lynn Shay's she's a sweetheart. I absolutely love Lynn Shay in Dead End from 2003. The highly underrated movie, and she's hilarious in it as well. I know that she's only in films because of her brother. Her brother is Bob Shay, who is one of the owners of New Line Cinema. I think he actually is the owner of New Line Cinema. Ever since I came back from Spain, I've tried to replace tea and fizzy drinks with water. I'm not a fitness nut or anything like that, but I'm trying to stay healthy. And I do 2 5Ks a week. I do a run, a 5K run on a Thursday and a 5K run on a Sunday. And that's the best I can do just now because I'm 40 years old now. So I feel like I'm doing okay. That's equivalent of 10K a week. And I think if I drink loads of fizzy juice and stuff, it's just not good. So water's the way to go. Gene says, I like both Terrifier movies. Shocking. Yeah, they are shocking. I think these films are intentionally shocking. I don't think they've got deep stories to them, and the characters are not deep either. What they rely on is that shock value. So if they can shock you to a level that you're even more shocked than you expected to be, then I think they've done their job. Rockland said, are you planning to see Abigail this weekend? I am. I was actually looking forward to it because it looks like a good horror film, but I think I've heard nothing but praise for it so far. Like Darren just said in the chat that it's really good and best horror film of the year. So if Darren says it's the best of the year, I believe him. I feel like me and Darren have similar tastes in most horror films. I think there's some that we would disagree on, naturally. But I think overall we've got similar tastes. Vanderhoff said, have you seen House? It's my favorite. Do you mean House from 1986, starring William Catt and George Wendt? If you are, then yes, absolutely love that movie. I'm actually thinking about doing a review for those films again. I'd done a ranking for the House films like 6 years ago or something like that, but I didn't individually review them. But I think they're due for a rewatch. And if I rewatch them, naturally, I'll probably do a review for them again, if that's what you mean, that movie. Vanderhoff said, have you seen Fulci's House by the Cemetery? It's one of my favorite Italian horror movies. I've only seen it once, and I don't know if you remember, but Arrow Video released a Blu-ray of it back in 2000 and I want to say 10 or 11. It's when Arrow just came out in the UK. I don't think the US had Arrow at the time, and they had the window box sleeves. So I got House by the Cemetery. That was one of the first ones that I bought. Watched it. I thought it was pretty good, but I've not seen it since, and that's been 12 years or so, 13 years. Can't believe it's been that long. I feel like 2010 is like 5 years ago or something, but time flies by. And yes, I've seen House on the Edge of the Park from 1980. I feel like that's just a rip-off of The Last House on the Left. Obviously, it plays on the name, The House at the Edge of the Park, The Last House on the Left, and also has David, is it David? Can't remember his name, the guy who plays Krug in The Last House on the Left. He's also in House on the Edge of the Park. So they're definitely trying to ride on the coattails of, I wouldn't say the success of the Last House on the Left, but definitely the edginess of The Last House on the Left. No holding back. You're in the chat and says, hey, Barry, how would you rank the horror movies you watched so far in 2024? Let me actually just check the horror movies. I use Letterboxd for my lists. I always keep my list private until I'm ready to review. But 2024 horror movies, I have seen 2. If you include Godzilla X Kong, then I've seen 3. But I don't think that's really a horror film. Let me know in the chat, guys, if you would consider Godzilla X Kong a horror movie. I wouldn't. And if we don't, then I've only seen 2 horror films so far this year. I will be watching Immaculate over the weekend. I've still to see The First Omen, and I've still to see Abigail. When I see those three, then I'll start to build that list. But I've seen two, and the only two that I've seen so far, apologies, but I've seen Night Swim and I've seen Prey. And when I say Prey, that's the Ryan Philippe and Emil Hirsch film where they crash their plane in the desert in Africa. God awful film. And Night Swim isn't much better. So far, and this is April now, so far Night Swim is my best horror film of 2024. Can you believe it? So I desperately need to see more horror films because that's atrocious. Atrocious. Rockland's part of my Canadian viewership. Yeah, the 20% Canadian. I want to go to Canada. Canadians and Scottish people have a lot of history together. There's a place in Canada, you'll know this, Rockland, called Nova Scotia, which I believe means New Scotland. Not too sure. I think it means New Scotland. A lot of Scottish people years ago immigrated, whatever you want to say, over to Canada and created their own colony in Canada. So there's a lot of Canadians that have a lot of Scottish history. If you look at Nev Campbell, her father is Scottish and he's from the East End of Glasgow, literally a 10-minute drive from where I live right now. So yeah, there's a lot of Scottish history in Canada. Really nice. Yeah, Emma's from the UK. I knew that, Emma. Unless you were telling someone else. Mr. PJ Staker, Mr. PI Staker. I guess being from Leeds puts me in the minority then. No, not really. I've got more English viewers than Scottish. I think Scotland's, well, I can't really tell because it's classed as the UK. But with the comments that I get, more English than Scottish. I love your name though. I'm assuming you're a fan of Hot Fuzz. Born to be Rad says, "Oh, thanks, man. Appreciated. Ditto." Yeah, like I said, it's good to see other channels coming into the chats as well. Michael says, that's strange. So are people from Scotland just culturally less interested in horror? Talking about your subscribers. I don't know what you mean. I think it was from a comment that I made earlier. But yeah, we're culturally not interested in horror movies. I mean, that's the reason I set up this channel, because nobody in my friends circle or my family wanted to talk about horror films. I would go up to like a family member or even my wife, say, "Oh, this new horror movie, this looks good," or "Did you see this film?" And they're like, "Nah." And sometimes they don't even say no. They just say, "I'm not interested." I'm like, fair enough. Oh well, who can I talk to about horror films? And then I just created a channel so that I can talk to you guys because someone's interested in horror. Gil Games said, yes, it's for the love of horror. I'm really hoping they announced Rohan Campbell to be there. Would love to meet him. Yep, he would be up there with me. I want to see and meet Rohan Campbell, get a photograph with him. I don't know what you do, but when it comes to photographs and autographs, I prefer the photographs. I like a visual representation of what I done that day and who I met rather than an autograph, because autographs you can get from anyone and you can buy them off friends. But when it comes to a photograph, that's more personal because you can physically see you with that person. So I would get a photograph with Rohan Campbell. As it stands, though, I think I'm only going to meet one person, and that is Rebecca Gayheart. She plays Brenda Bates in Urban Legend. So that's the one she's the top of my list just now. However, if Rohan Campbell came, then I would put her second and he would go first. I don't go to the cons to meet all these stars and get photographs and pictures, autographs with them all, because that takes a lot of time. I'm actually there to talk to people about horror movies in the stands and the booths and stuff like that. So that's why I go there. But if there is someone there that tickles my fancy, then I'll definitely go and get a photograph. And that's why I think it's going to be Rebecca Gayheart this year. This mic is a pipe bomb, says, greetings, chat. Don't forget to hit the like button. Oh, thanks very much. Do you know, I keep forgetting to say that because I feel like I'm pressuring people to like things that they might not like. But if you want to, and if you can, please hit the like button. It helps the algorithm. If you're not subscribed and you've just popped in, then say hello and even subscribe if you like the look of the channel. If you're just in for the first time, guys, this isn't my normal background. This is just me in my dining room. I usually do my recordings in my studio, but there's 3 levels in my house. I've got downstairs, the middle, and upstairs. The middle floor is where my studio is. And because it's late at night, it's 11 p.m. now, my kids are in bed sleeping because they've got school in the morning, and my wife is up in the top floor. So because of that, I have to do the recordings downstairs so I can talk louder than whispering. I don't want to whisper because I want people to hear me, and I need to hear myself as well. So I'm downstairs for the live stream. I might have to do that for live streams if I'm doing them later on as well. Albeit if the kids aren't in and the wife isn't in, then I'll maybe record in my studio. But if not, has to be down here. Emma, I'm going to try to get to For the Love of Horror this year. You definitely should. I've been to a number of cons, and I think For the Love of Horror has been my favorite experience so far. It's great meeting people as well that recognize me from the channel. I've had people come up to me and ask me for photographs with them, and it's weird because I don't expect that because I'm just a normal person. So when someone says, "Oh, Barry, I love your channel. Can I get a photograph?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course. That's brilliant. Like, I absolutely love it." Anyone who comes up to me and recognizes me from the channel and wants to talk about horror films, that's the greatest experience of my life. So, and I have had people come up saying, "Oh, I saw you all day and I was too afraid to come up and say hello. I didn't want to bother you." Never think like that. If you see me and you recognize me and want to talk about films, come straight up to me and I'll happily talk to you about anything because it's a great experience. I had my friend Rob that I go with all the time. He had a friend called Steph who she went last year and I think she's coming this year as well. And I didn't tell her that I had a channel. Hold on. I didn't tell her that I had a channel, and she was just talking away to me about Nicolas Cage. And this person came up and says, "Oh, can I get a photograph with you?" And they got a photograph with me and stuff. And then I went back to her and started talking about Nicolas Cage again, and she's like, "Why did they ask for your photograph?" It's quite funny. And I'm like, "Oh, I've got a YouTube channel," and that was it. So I don't like to talk about it until someone actually asks me for a photograph, but surreal moments is the ones that count. This is Mike is a pipe bomb says house is like Evil Dead light. Yeah, do you know what? It actually is. That's actually quite a good way of putting it. If you've got kids and you love the Evil Dead, but you feel like your kids shouldn't watch the Evil Dead, maybe introduce them to lighter films like House. That's a really good comparison. No, Mark, I've not seen The First Omen yet. I was just saying earlier on there, I've only seen 2 horror films of the year so far, and The First Omen is not one of them yet. Because I was away as well. I was away to Spain for 2 weeks, so I'm playing catch up right now. I didn't see Immaculate. I've not seen The First Omen, and obviously Abigail's just out this year, so it's hard to play catch up at the moment. Yeah, Gene, I love House and House 2. I think House 2 gets a lot of shade put against it because of how good House 1 was, but I think House 2 at times feels equally as good as House 1. Born to be Rad, David Hess is the one. I couldn't get his name out. That's David Hess who plays Krug in The Last House on the Left, and he's in The House at the Edge of the Park. Mark says, "Do you enjoy a bottle of Buckfast, Barry?" Actually, no. It's funny because Buckfast is English, of course. It's in Buckfast Abbey, way down south, but it seems to be more associated with Scottish people because, especially in Glasgow, when I was younger, we would have people drinking in the streets, and they drink a bottle of Bucky, and it's embarrassing. But I'll be honest, I've tasted it once when I was younger, and it was absolutely disgusting. I would never drink it again. Oh, Rockland is actually from Nova Scotia. Just when I was saying New Scotland, and let's see what else you said. Lots of Irish and Scottish history here for sure. My dad was Irish. There you go. So it's great to see that our community has traveled so far across to Canada. It's nice. I'd love to visit Canada one day. I'll maybe go and meet Dave McRae if he'll have me. I'll sleep on his couch. Go Games is from the Fries and Galloway in Scotland. Love Glasgow. Go Games, I go camping in the Fries and Galloway every year. I go down to, you'll know this, the Dark Sky Forest. The Dark Sky Forest in the Fries and Galloway is one of, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's only 7 dark sky forests in the entire world. We've got one of them in the Fries of Galloway, and it's basically a dark sky forest is a place that has no light pollution, like street lights and cars and stuff. So if you're going down to take photographs of the night sky, like the Milky Way and stuff like that, then you're going to get a crisp, clear image of all these stars and stuff, as long as it's a clear sky, of course. And that's why they call it the dark sky forest. I went down there when I was training to become a photographer, and I went down to take photographs of the sky, and it was absolutely stunning. When you get there, it takes you a while for your eyes to adjust. You put your hand in front of your face, and you can't see your hand until you really focus. Once you see your hand, you're fine, but it's so dark. Yeah, Dumfries and Galloway is really nice, though. Mark's Scottish, and he totally understands. Gene says, subscribe to this channel. You will love it. Thanks very much, Gene. I've seen you comment a few times on other channels as well. And it's nice to see that you're getting your way around the channels and supporting us as well. That's really nice to hear. And we've got David Deffrey. David Deffrey, remember that guy? Davey's in the house. Hey, hey, everyone. Davey, if you've just joined, because I know that I'm a little bit behind in the chat, I did mention that we have... Let me go back to it. We have a live chat on Saturday night. Saturday night for me at 9 p.m, 1 p.m. Davies time, and 4 p.m. EST. So if you're available on Saturday, guys, then please come over, check the channel out, and you'll hear me and Davey battle it out for our top 10 zombie horror movies. I'm sure we'll have some similar zombie horror films, but I'm sure we'll have a variety of different zombie horror films. So it will be interesting to hear Davey's list, because we don't know each other's lists, which is always the best way to do it. So there might be some duplicates. You never know. Mark says, it's disgusting, Barry, but it does the job. That's Buckfast you're talking about. Hey, Davey. I thought I was Davey there. Yep. So you're all saying hello to Davey. Hopefully, Davey brings his good luck over to the chat as well. When I started these live streams, when I started thinking about doing these live streams maybe once every week or so, like horror news, I just realized there's not a lot of horror news out this week apart from Terrifier 3. There is more horror news that I saw earlier on today that I can't really be bothered to do a video for, so I'll just mention it here. But if you go over to October's I can't say this word, Apothecary, October's Apothecary on Facebook, if you do a search for that, they've released 54 images of the new Welcome to Derry TV show, the behind the scenes of Welcome to Derry, which is the spin-off of It. And it's actually a prequel as well. It's set in the 50s or the 60s. So there's a lot of images there. Not spoilers, but there's a lot of imagery there that shows certain scenes from the first 2 movies that will feature in Welcome to Derry. So it feels like it's really very closely tight-knit to the films, almost like a prequel movie, depending on how many episodes there is. But I'm really looking forward to this because I've not heard much about it recently. I think a couple of months ago, we got a couple of seconds of it on like HBO Max upcoming TV shows or something. And you saw little clips of other TV shows that are coming in 2024. And that was one of them. You saw some glimpses of the TV show. So definitely be checking that out when it comes, because it does look pretty good. When it comes to things that happen on my channel, then let me just go through some of the things that I'll be covering on the channel. Obviously, you've got the David Deffrey one. that I'm really looking forward to doing, starting to get back into doing not just live streams, but collaboration live streams, which is always the funnest thing to do because it's great talking to you guys myself, but sometimes I want to have a break for a minute while somebody else is talking. And that's why collaborations are, I would say they're a lot better, so we can bounce off each other. Next couple of days, I've already shot this and I have scheduled it, which will be the future of the Core 4. I know that we've got a lot of Scream fans around just now, and as you can see, there's 2 people in black and white, and there's 2 people in color. Does that mean 2 are gone or 2 are still there? Who knows? So I've got a video on that coming in the next couple of days, just to discuss what the future holds for the Core 4. If the Core 4 are actually still going to be part of the franchise, can maybe the Core 4 come back? Who knows? I don't really want to talk about. I was about to say something there, but I don't really want to talk about it because it spoils the video. And there's no point in watching the video when it comes out. But if you're interested in Scream or even the Core 4, then please check it out. Let's go back to the chat. Sorry, just don't want to miss anything. Vanderhoff asked, have you ever seen the awesome movie Frequency with Dennis Quaid? That's a movie from 2000, I think it is. No, I've not seen it. However, randomly, my mum likes that film. She absolutely loves that film. And she kept on saying to me when it came out, oh, watch this film. And I'm like, nah, I'm just going to watch Final Destination. So yeah, I've not seen that one. If you recommend it, I'll maybe add it to my watch list. Has been a while since it came out, so who knows? David said, holy cow, there it is. That's the thumbnail, I guess. No Holding Back asked, what are your most anticipated non-horror films this year? Do you know what? The schedule changes a lot, and it has done for the past few months, that I'm finding it hard to even think of a horror film that's coming out this year that I'm really looking forward to. Let me just check horror movies 2024. So what's coming out? Nothing. Let me just type in coming soon. Tarot. I mean, that looks like another cheap jump scare film, but it looks interesting. I think I might watch that. Cuckoo as well. That looks quite interesting. Longlegs. That's another one. I think there was a teaser trailer released for that today. That looks interesting. A Quiet Place Day One. That looks good. But would people consider that a horror movie? I would, but some people don't. The Strangers Chapter 1. You know what? I wasn't looking forward to that until I saw the trailer. I think the trailer makes it look watchable. If it's going to be good, I don't know. But it does look like it's got something to it that I want to see. So definitely check that out. Nosferatu. Yeah, looking forward to that. That's the one with Bill Skarsgård, who plays Nosferatu as well. Saw 11's not coming out this year anymore. Oh, right. Maxine's probably my most anticipated. I didn't have that high up on my list before. But when I saw the trailer for Maxine, I was blown away by the trailer. So my most anticipated horror film of the year, even non-horror, it's got to be Maxine. I think, I don't know how I forgot about that. But yeah, Maxine for sure. Rockland says, as soon as that Nosferatu trailer drops, I'm making a video. Holding my breath. So is Nosferatu out at the end of the year? I think it's out December or something like that. It's out near the end of the year anyway, so we might still be waiting quite a while for it. And although I'm not a big comic book fan anymore, I'm still looking forward to Deadpool and Wolverine. I love Hugh Jackman. I think the Deadpool character's played out a little bit stale now. I think Deadpool's more like Ryan Reynolds now than Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. So I'm still looking forward to it though, because I'm interested to see what they try and do with the franchise. I think they're going to be trying too hard, but it still looks okay. Christopher Charles said, I'll be checking that out Saturday. Top 10 zombie films. My favourite's got to be Dawn of the Dead from 2004. That's Christopher's opinion. Yeah, definitely check it out to see if Dawn of the Dead 2004 makes my list or even Davey's list as well. And again, Davey and I have not spoken about this list whatsoever to each other. So it's going to be really interesting to find out what Davey prefers over other films. I actually got a comment today on Facebook from someone, and he just said, and when I posted up the live streams coming, he said, "Oh, what's the point?" I'm paraphrasing. He said something like, "What's the point? You're just going to choose new horror films. You won't choose any of the old horror films or old zombie films." I'm like, "What? I'm 40 years old. Like, I think the newest movie on my list is about 10 years old, from 2014 or 13 or something like that. So I don't think there's any new horror films, any new zombie horror films on the list. I think they're all really old, but each to their own. Kaiwan says, "Are you going to do The Walking Dead at anywhere or any point, or do you like that show? Do you like that show? You're going to review it or anything?" I haven't reviewed The Walking Dead on the channel at all. When I started the channel, I was already neck deep in The Walking Dead anyway, and I didn't want anyone knowing that I watched it because people would try and spoil it for me. So I decided not to tell anyone that I was watching it. However, I have been doing the reviews for The Ones Who Live, which is the spin-off to The Walking Dead, featuring Rick and Michonne. And you've just reminded me that I've not watched the season finale yet. So I'll need to watch that first before I do my review for it. But I have done a review for every other episode in that series so far. So there's 6 episodes, and I've done a review for the first 5 episodes. So if you're interested, then definitely check those out. I've not been impressed by it so far, so I'm not that fussed about the finale, because I don't think it's going to be great, but I'll definitely watch it, and I'll need to do a review for it as well. Big G, howdy. Big G also said, "Is Melissa due back?" She's not due back, no. Melissa Barrera, she's not, as far as we're aware, she's not coming back at all. Spyglass are still in control of the franchise, and I don't think Melissa and Spyglass are going to make up any time soon. And if they do, it would be nice. Well, I wouldn't say it would be nice. It would be a nice surprise if they don't tell anyone and we just see her appear in one of the films. Sorry, I hate drinking water in front of you guys. Like, you can hear me drinking like it's some sort of ASMR video, and it's not. Ali says, "Frequency is a good movie." Yeah, I think I'll need to check it out. I really like Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid goes through periods in his career where he disappears for 5 or 6 years, and then he comes back again with some sort of decent movie. So yeah, I need to check it out. Big G says, "Have you ever seen Dark Knight of the Scarecrow?" Yes, I have. And I think that was pretty decent. It's a low budget film from 1995, I believe. It was decent. I don't remember too much about it because I did see it years ago. I must have been a teenager when I watched that film. But yeah, I thought it was quite decent. For those of you who don't know, I don't know if I've shared this before. I think maybe I have, maybe I haven't. I've got a condition called arithmomania. Arithmomania, and it's a form of OCD where it's just involving numbers. It's like not like I have to put this bottle like here and do all this with it. That's more OCD. Arithmomania deals with numbers only. So when someone says to me, and I don't always get it right, but when someone says to me, "Do you know this movie?" For some reason, I always mention the year it came out, and I always know the year it came out. It's the same if you tell me an actor or an actress, I will, what do you call it? I would say the year of birth that they came out. Just as I'm saying that, I'm looking at that thing, Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, and I'm thinking that's the wrong film. I'm talking about Night of the Scarecrow, I think it's called, from 1995. Dark Knight of the Scarecrow is the 1980 film, the TV movie. That's a great movie. That's fantastic. There you go. But still, I used my arithmomania accidentally. Night of the Scarecrow is 1995. Dark Knight of the Scarecrow is 1980. But yeah, Dark Knight the Scarecrow is fantastic. This is Mike says, looking forward to In a Violent Nature, eagerly awaiting the Toxic Avenger reboot as well. Yeah, there's not been much said about the Toxic Avenger since we got that little teaser. It's just kind of died out again. I think that's going to get delayed and eventually it'll just come to streaming or something. As for In a Violent Nature, I think it sounds good. The premise is quite unique and the trailer made it look good. But I've heard mixed reviews for it so far. I think it's been shown in some press screenings and it's not getting the best reviews. Ali said, Dark Knight the Scarecrow is a good cheesy 80s movie. Yeah, so it's definitely the 1981. Is it 1981 now? I'm sorry, I need to Google this. My arithmomania is getting the best of me. Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. 1981. What a diddy. Yeah, I knew it was 1981. As I'm getting it wrong. Christmas Day. Yeah, that's Nosferatu. Cynthia J is in the house. Cynthia is one of my members. So welcome, Cynthia. I'm glad you could make one of the live streams. So howdy. Vanderhoff said, Frequency is a great movie. You will love it. I highly recommend you watch it and review it. Yeah, I'll need to add it to the watch list then because nobody said it's bad yet. So let me go into my IMDb. I'll go to IMDb to add things to my watch list. Frequency. Oh, Jim Caviezel's in it as well. Are you very young, Jim Caviezel? Who else is in it? Oh, Elizabeth Mitchell. Noah Emmerich's in it as well. Noah Emmerich is one of these bad actors that gets in big films. Yeah, got a good score all round. Add to watch list. Do you know, I always looked at the frequency quality and it reminded me of White Noise from 2005. Vanderhoff said, I'm 55 years old. I got to see all the 80s horror movies as they came out. I'm jealous. Imagine seeing all those classics in the cinema, all these classic 80s horror films. I never got to do that. I can't remember the first horror movie I saw. The first horror movie I saw in the cinema was Wrong Turn in 2003. No. Was it? Yeah, I think it was. Wrong Turn in 2003. That was, we got to see that in May, I think it was. It came out in May 2003. No, it came out in May 2003 in the US, but I think we got it in August 2003. So that was the first horror movie I saw in the cinema. And I was 19 years old at the time. I had to wait till I was 19 to see a horror film in the cinema. And it's not because I wasn't old enough, it's because I just didn't go to the cinema when I was younger for some reason. Cynthia J said, I like the zombie movies, the old ones. Yeah, old ones. I think the old ones are the best ones, to be honest. So when someone says to me on Facebook, oh, you're just going to name all the new ones. Nope. I don't know any new horror films, new zombie horror films. So there you go. No Holding Back said, what do you think the plot could be for Ready or Not 2? I actually don't know. Like, we obviously know there's more. It's a supernatural movie now because of what happened at the end of Ready or Not. So I don't know how they're going to do part 2. Like, is she going to marry someone else and have to play the game again? Or maybe she's got a curse put on her because she played the game. So she needs to pass the curse on to her new husband, and so it's the husband this time that doesn't know about it, and she's the one that has to try and kill the husband in the mansion that she now owns. I can see it going that kind of way. It would be good if they didn't call it Ready or Not, though. See if they called it Ready or Not, Here I Come. I think that'd be cool marketing. Yeah, we've got Dream Villain in the house. Hey Barry, how are you doing? I'm doing very well, Villain. I'm sure you're doing pretty well. Dream Villain is an Aston Villa fan. Come on, John McGinn. Cynthia J said Scarecrows 1988 is good too. Scarecrows is one of my favourite 80s horror films. I love Scarecrows. If you ever want the mood and the atmosphere of an 80s horror film, definitely check out Scarecrows if you haven't. That's a fantastic film. All the good names are taken. Podcast is in the house. I think this is the first time I've spoken to you guys in the chat, so it's nice to see you guys. So welcome. You said, what are your thoughts on the 1989's No Holds Barred starring Hulk Hogan? I love No Holds Barred. I know that a lot of people hate that movie. I absolutely love it. I went through a Hulk Hogan phase, as we all did when we were younger. I mean, I watched, it was called, what was it called at the time? Primetime Wrestling with Vince McMahon and Bobby Heenan. I think it 1989 or something, 1988, 89. So I would sit and watch Primetime Wrestling, and they would always advertise the next Hulk Hogan movie. So we had films like No Holds Barred, Suburban Commando, Mr. Nanny, all those late 80s, early 90s films featuring Hulk Hogan. And no matter if they were good or bad, I would watch them. No Holds Barred was great, though. No Holds Barred, but that was the one with Tommy Tiny Lister Jr. as well. He was like the bad guy in the film. Don't remember too much about it, but I absolutely loved that film, which reminds me I'll need to watch that again as well. No Holding Back said, it seems as if the vampire genre is back in form with films like Renfield, Abigail, and Nosferatu. Yeah, I think so as well. I think they're changing it to more traditional vampire style films now, which is good. No longer are we getting these Abigail. No longer are we getting these Twilight style vampire flicks that we've been getting for the past few years. That are kind of yawn and kind of more aimed at the teenagers. Whereas we're getting newer ones now that seem more old fashioned, like that are catering for more than just teenagers, which is good. And hopefully, if Abigail and Nosferatu are successful, then maybe more people will be interested in the new Marvel's Blade that's eventually going to get a release. But hopefully it's not like a teeny bopper Blade. I hope they make it like Wesley Snipes' Blade. Christopher Charles said, one of my favorite 80s horrors is a B movie, 1987's Retribution. Saw it as a kid when it came out and still a favorite. I've not seen Retribution. I do know the poster, though. The poster is of a woman looking through the blinds and there's light coming through the blinds, I believe. Let me just double check that, make sure I'm not wrong. 1987 Retribution. Yep, that's the one. Yeah, so it's like a woman, looks like she's looking through the blinds. Never seen that one. Judging by the images, though, looks like pretty good quality. Is that? Oh, no, it's not. It's Suzanne Snyder. I thought that was. I'm going blank. Oh my God, I'm going blank. Who's the woman from Beyond? Oh my God. I just went totally blank. Barbara Crampton. Jesus. I thought that was Barbara Crampton there, but it's not. It's Suzanne Snyder. Would you recommend it then? Any good? Who knows? Sorry, I'm trying to find my place there. Here we go. I can't. No Holding Back said, I can't wait for Late Night with the Devil to come out on streaming. Will you watch it? Cover it? I won't cover it because everyone's already covered it. And if I tried to cover it now, nobody would watch it because it's already been covered. I'll maybe talk about it and give you my thoughts on it, maybe in a live stream. But yes, I'm looking forward to it. That's another one I haven't seen yet. And I know it's out this week, I believe, in streaming. So I'll definitely check that out because I'm looking forward to seeing that one for definite. Big G said, did you ever see Looker? Strange movie, but good. Not heard of that one. Looker. 1981? That one? That's got a decent rating. Directed by Michael Crichton. Whoa. That's random. Michael Crichton wrote Jurassic Park. How random is that he's directed this? Is it a horror film? Or drama, sci-fi thriller? Do you know what? I'm adding that to the watch list. That is so bizarre. added. Michael Crichton, Albert Finney's in it as well. James Coburn, what a cast! Well, added it to the watch list. That's very interesting. That's weird. So bizarre. If that's the one you mean, it could be another film you're talking about. If it's not, then I've just found something. David Effray, have you seen The Changeling, Barry? It depends what one you mean, Davey. Is it the one with George C. Scott in 1980? Or is it the one with Angelina Jolie in 2008 or something like that? I've seen the George C. Scott one years ago, and I don't remember it. I just don't remember it. I do remember being scared of it though, because I was quite young. I was maybe 8 or 9 or something when I watched it. And I remember being so scared of it that I didn't see it all. But because it had a lasting impression on me, I always assumed it was a great film. So that's another one I need to revisit. Cynthia J. Madman, 1980, first horror movie. That's a good horror movie to watch, your very first one. My first horror movie was 1981's Just Before Dawn. Love that film. I still do. It's still one of my favourite horror films of all time. David Effrey said, I think Scream 2 was my first horror film in theatre. So, Davey, you would have been young. You would have been 16. No, sorry, 15. I keep forgetting that you guys can go and see horror films when you're younger in the cinema, maybe if there's an adult with you. Whereas in the UK, we're very strict. If you're under 15 or if you're under 18, if you're 17 years old, you can't go even with a parent to see a horror film. If it's an 18, then you have to be 18 or above to see it, regardless if you're with a parent or not. So yeah, Scream 2 came out in December 1997. You were born in May 82. So yeah, you would have been 15. Very young. Not JPEG is in the chat. What's going on? Not JPEG comes into my chat all the time, and I bet you any money, you give me 2 films to choose from at some point. And you've said thoughts on 2008's Splinter. That's quite weird that you say that, because I actually watched Splinter about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, sorry, just before I went on holiday. I thought it was pretty good. It's quite underrated and underseen, I would say. So if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Davey's seen it. Splinter is good. And there we go. You're giving me 2 movies to choose from: The First Omen or Book of Shadows. I'm going to say Book of Shadows at the moment because I've not seen The First Omen. And if you're saying Book of Shadows, do you mean the Blair Witch Project 2? I don't even really like that film, but it's the only one I've seen so far. Dream Villain said, "Hey Barry, how is your fan movie of Urban Legend coming on? Are you still working on it?" I'm kind of slowly working on it, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it at a pace that if I never do anything with it, then I won't be bothered, because I'm just working at a snail's pace, kind of adding things to the script and stuff like that, and making some artwork for things that I would want to get printed out for the little film that I do. But if I never release it, then I never release it. If I never make it, I never make it. But the idea's still there. I'm still vaguely working on it. Not JPEG said, best and worst of the Howling films. If you want me to tell you right now what's the best ones, it's obviously the Howling 1, and it's closely followed, as far as I can remember, Howling 5. That's the one where they go to the Hungarian castle. That's a very eerie movie in the franchise, but there are some stinkers in the franchise that I couldn't even choose what was the worst. Yeah, David Jeffrey said it's the Changeling is the George C. Scott one. I love that damn movie. Such a great slow burn haunting film. I love George C. Scott. George C. Scott's a great actor. Not JPEG asked, when is Hearts of Darkness Jason Goes to Hell documentary getting released? I never knew it was getting released. I didn't know about it at all. I'm Facebook friends with the director. What's his name again? Adam something. I'm friends with him on Facebook. Maybe he knows more about it if he's involved. 2 seconds. That's a good thing about my little XLR, Wave XLR that I've got. I can just mute you whenever I want and you won't even know about it. See? Yeah, Luca with Albert Finney. That's some cast. I'd never heard of that movie until now. Looks interesting, so I'll definitely be checking it out. Mr. Pisstaker said, "Did you see Sorority Babes in Slime Ball Bolorama 1988? Do you know I've not seen that, but I've got the Blu-ray. I think it was 88 Films that released it on Blu-ray, and naturally the cover caught my eye. So I thought, yeah, let's check that out. I think, does it have Linnea Quigley in it? And if it's not Linnea Quigley, it's one of those Scream Queens from back in the 80s. Yeah, Darren said, Luca is a great movie. I had no idea why I'd never heard of that film before, but what a cast. And the director as well. It's just so random that it's Michael Crichton. Wow. Rockland says, you mentioned looking for other collaborations. Throwing it out there, I'd love to at some point. Got something lined up with Codal H, and I'm looking to do more with other creators. Yeah, if you want to send me a message through either Facebook or Twitter, then we can discuss that as well. So yeah, always looking to collaborate with other people. Favorite Vernon Wells movie? Who's Vernon Wells? Let's see. Who the heck's that? I don't know who that is. Should I know who that is? I can see that Mad Max is mentioned. Mad Max 2. He's in. Oh, he's the guy from Commando. I know you ask some random questions sometimes, JPEG, but that must be your most random question yet. Wow, this guy's in like 16,000 movies. Take your pick. I don't know. That's some question. That's a great question. I can't answer it though. Let's say Commando. Oh, is he in Weird Science? Is that what you're answering, Darren? Vernon Wells is in Weird Science. I'm still going Commando if that's the case. Not JPEG also said, interested in Days of Sodom Crow fan film. See, when it comes to fan films, they are what they are. The ones that I'm really interested in is the movie quality ones, like the Hollywood style movie quality ones. And I think if I keep on, I do get a lot of requests to review fan films by people, and it's from people that I don't even know. They're like, "Hey, Wolfman, love your channel," and I'm like, "Well, if you love my channel, you know my name. My name's not Wolfman, so it means that you don't watch my channel because the first thing I say on every video is, 'Hello, my name's Barry.'" So if they don't even get through the first 3 seconds of my video, then they're obviously not a fan of the channel. So I tend to ignore a lot of them, especially if I don't like interact with them very often. And because of the amount of requests that I get through, I just don't watch them all. So, and The Crow is not something that I'm fully interested in anyway. I think the new movie looks pretty good, and I remember liking the original from 1994. So, The Crow's not something that I'm totally interested in. So, when it comes to fan films, if I'm going to be watching any of them, it's probably going to be ones like Halloween ones or Dave McRae's It's Me, Billy, or Vincent DeSantis' Never Hike Alone series. So that's the ones that I'm more interested in. So fan films of The Crow, they don't interest me, to be honest. So I don't know if I will see it, to be honest. No Holding Back said, what do you think of the Joker 2 trailer? Can it be as good as the first? I mean, I don't think it can be as good as the first movie. If you watch my top 25 movies of all time, that's not just horror, all movies, the Joker makes the list. Sorry, Joker makes the list. So for the second one to beat that, it's going to be hard to do, but never say never. The trailer does give me good feelings on it. And I think the trailer itself is almost a masterpiece on its own. So it does look great. That last shot of Harley Quinn doing the little smile, and then you see him joining his mouth up with the smile. That's the artistic integrity that goes into that trailer alone is fantastic. See you later, Big G. Good night, good channel. Thanks very much for joining and asking questions as well. It's always good to see people joining in. So have a good night. Not Beg says Monkey Man, see or skip. I'm going to say see because I haven't seen it yet, and it does look fantastic. I like Scream and Ice Cream said best horror threequel of all time. When you say threequel, do you mean 3 movies? Well, that would be a trilogy. So I'm guessing a part 3, you mean then? My best part 3 in a horror franchise of all time? That's interesting. I mean, off the top of my head, I'm going to have to say A Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors. Potentially. Although I do like Friday the 13th Part 3 as well. That's really good. It's a good question. Off the top of my head, I can't even think. I'll say Dream Warriors for now, because that is a really good film. Darren said, he's the punk biker in Weird Science. The character's based on Wes and Mad Max. Right, okay, so it's kind of like a spoof of his own character. I get that. David Effrey said, I just did a reaction for Days of Sodom, and it looks pretty promising. It's a teaser, but the quality seems right up there with the higher quality fan films. Well, that's good to see that not just Halloween and the big 5 horror franchises are getting fan films. The other, I wouldn't say smaller, but other movies are getting fan films as well that have got a similar quality. So it's good to hear that they're bringing out the good quality ones. I like Scream and Ice Cream asked, what is the best and worst Rob Zombie films? I mean, I think the obvious one for Rob Zombie's best has to be The Devil's Rejects, but I wouldn't say that is so far ahead. I rewatched House of a Thousand Corpses recently, and I think it's underrated. I put it in a list of 20 underrated horror films that you need to give a second chance. And I think it's pretty close behind. So I don't think The Devil's Rejects is too far in front. When it comes to the worst Rob Zombie films, take your pick. Apart from House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects, you could put any of them as his worst. Maybe not Halloween from 2007, but the rest of them, they're almost crap. Crappy crap. Yeah, so it seems like there's a good bit of love going towards Days of Sodom. Days of Sodom preview was legit awesome. So that's good to hear. James Duffin said, all right, Barry, I'm just down the road in Hamilton. Can't wait for Terrifier 3. I've seen Immaculate, Late Night with the Devil, and The First Omen so far this year. Maxine, T3, and Longlegs. That's what you're looking forward to. I'm looking forward to all of them as well. And unfortunately, I haven't seen all the other films that you mentioned, but I will be watching them in the coming weeks. So I'm looking forward to that. And yet Hamilton's not too far away from me. When I used to be a freelance property photographer, and I'd done a lot of houses in Hamilton and Motherwell. So I know the area pretty well. Cynthia asked, are you ready for the new Blade? I'm ready for the new Blade. Is Marvel ready for the new Blade? That's the big question because they keep delaying the movie. I don't think it's coming out anytime soon. I'm ready, but I don't know if Marvel are ready. Davey said, I love that they're taking this second Joker film in a whole new direction. I'm a music nut, and it'll be great to see how they tie music into the Broken Psych. Yeah, that's very interesting how they're going to be doing that. I don't think it's going to be a downright musical or an outright musical that other people are thinking it's going to be. I think they're going to be using the music aspects as part of their fantasy. So we'll see these music videos, but what's actually happening around them is just chaos and mayhem. I love Joaquin Phoenix. One of my favorite Joaquin Phoenix movies is Walk the Line with Johnny Cash, about Johnny Cash, and Joaquin Phoenix does his own singing in that film. So I believe he will be doing his own singing in this one. When I watched the trailer and heard a male voice singing, it sounded like Joaquin Phoenix's voice when he was in Walk the Line. So really looking forward to that part. Ghoul Games asked, what's your most anticipated non-horror movie of this year? What could it be? Again, schedules change all the time. 2024 movies coming soon. Deadpool and Wolverine. I mentioned that earlier. So yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine. What else? Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes looks pretty good. I love the first 3 movies in that new Planet of the Apes trilogy. So that does look pretty good. And I think that's about it, to be honest. Everything else looks mediocre from the trailers that we've seen. Yeah. Bad Boys, Ride or Die. That looks pretty good. I love the Bad Boys movies. I know that the part 2 and 3 didn't get great reviews, but I like them. So yeah, I'm going to have to go for Deadpool and Wolverine. Very cliche answer because it's Marvel, but it does look good. I can't deny that. No Holding Back said, Mike Flanagan directing a Nightmare on Elm Street reboot with A24 as distributor would be a match made in hell. Hell? Oh, why would you say hell? I mean, I wouldn't say it's a match made in heaven. And in fact, if you're saying that in a positive way, it sounds too cliche and too perfect for it to be true. I know that Mike Flanagan has mentioned he'd love to do a Nightmare on Elm Street at some point, but I don't know how that would marry up. Sometimes if it's too good, they might give us something that's not great. However, if they did do it, then I would definitely be watching. Would you ever want to see Terrifier be rebooted someday? Well, I don't know. It's just a fresh new franchise, to be honest. So I don't think it's going to be rebooted anytime soon. However, because it is an independent film, if eventually Damien Leone gets sick of it and says, you know what, I'm just going to sell the rights to the franchise, I think the first thing a studio would do would be reboot it in a big budget way. So never say never. But at this moment in time, I think it would take a lot of money for Damien Leone to give up the rights to the franchise, because that's the only way they're going to reboot it, if he gave up the rights to the franchise, because he owns it. So it's his. So, yeah. I don't think we'll see a reboot anytime soon, though. And you've asked, are you more excited for Joker 2 or Terrifier 3? What? Again, I'm looking forward to Terrifier 3, but it's an independent film that's schlocky. It's like almost like a fan film. Well, the first 2 were anyway. So it's not really comparable to something like the Joker 2. But I would say the Joker 2 is the one I'm looking forward to most. Sloppenheimer said, have you had a chance to watch Inside? Willem Dafoe does an amazing job and the movie perfectly sets the tone and environment. Inside with Willem Dafoe? I thought Inside was a French movie. Or am I thinking something else? Inside. Oh, the 2023 movie. Oh, yeah. I've not seen that one, no. It's not got good reviews, though, from critics or audiences. Looks like everyone agrees it's not that great. I've not seen it. I've not even seen a trailer for it. I've seen the poster. Don't know what it's about. Cool Games. I'm excited for Deadpool 3 and Inside Out 2. See, I don't get excited for cartoons anymore. I think when my kids were young enough to watch cartoons or animated movies, then I would be kind of interested to see them. But I think lately I'm just like, nah, the kids don't really want to see them either. So if the kids don't want to see the animated films, then I have no excuse but to ignore them. So I'm not looking, well, I wouldn't say I'm not looking forward to Inside Out 2, but I've got no interest in it whatsoever. I think the only animated stuff I'm interested in now would be a Toy Story movie, but even at that, they milked it with Toy Story now. I think it ended perfectly with Toy Story 3, but they've milked it big time. It was announced that Leonardo DiCaprio will play Frank Sinatra, indeed, and that Miles Teller and Andrew Garfield are the favourites to play a modern-day Jesus in Scorsese's next film. Thoughts? To be honest, though, do you think, touch wood, nothing happens to Martin Scorsese, but do we really think he's got 2 more movies in him? 2 more great movies? I know that Clint Eastwood's still going, but Clint Eastwood's movies haven't been good for a long time now, and he's obviously 94. But Martin Scorsese's not that far behind. He's 84, I think. So coherently, is he there to make a really good film again? I know he just done Killers of the Flower Moon, but how much longer can this guy go in a coherent way to make a decent film, especially with big stars like Leonardo DiCaprio, and then you've got Miles Teller and Andrew Garfield possibly playing Jesus. So it does take quite a few years to make a movie. I don't know how much time he's got in him left. I don't mean is he going to die? I mean, he has to retire at some point, because at some point his quality is going to dip big time, like Clint Eastwood's did. So that's my thoughts on it so far. Looks like Jean's away. Barry, I hope you have a good day. Was a good one. Thanks for joining us, Jean, and thanks for supporting the channel as much as you do. So have a good day to you. I'll be going to bed soon. I'll give it another 25 minutes or so. Cynthia J asked, if they do a remake, who would play Freddy? Off the top of my head, I'm still going to say Tom Hiddleston. I know that a lot of people say, oh, Kevin Costner, Kevin Bacon. I think that ship has sailed 20 years ago with Kevin Bacon. Someone younger has to play him. So I'm saying Tom Hiddleston just now. However, I wouldn't be against an unknown, because Robert Englund was essentially unknown at the time when he was cast. I know he was in V, but he was essentially an unknown person when he was cast as Freddy Krueger. So a famous person, I would say Tom Hiddleston. However, I would prefer an unknown to play Freddy Krueger. But someone just gave us a good example. Walton Goggins as Freddy Krueger plays. That would be a good shout as well. He's getting along. I think he's like 51 or something like that now. So he's coming along, but enough movies to make a couple. Davey said, Barry, what's your favourite retro video game from the NES, Mega Drive, SNES era? Mine is Black Belt from the Sega Master System era. When it comes to Mega Drive, I would say it's got to be Mortal Kombat 2 or Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I know they're a bit popular, but those were the games I played all the time when I was younger. But when it comes to Master System, that is the one before the Mega Drive. I think you guys would have called it the Genesis. The Genesis was the Mega Drive, but I don't know what you would have called the Master System, which is the version before the Mega Drive and the Genesis. If you had that, then it was Black Belt for definite. And before that, I had the Atari. And my favorite game for the Atari was Pac-Man. So old-fashioned, but yeah, Pac-Man. So I had an Atari. That was my first ever console. Then it was the Master System. Then it was the Mega Drive / Genesis. After that, I got a PlayStation in 1996 for my Christmas. And ever since that, it's just been PlayStation. So I had the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, 3, 4, and now I've got the PlayStation 5. So PlayStation all the way. I think Damien Leone, Nightmare on Elm Street movie would be cool to see. I don't know how good Damien Leone is, though, because we've only ever seen him do a Terrifier film. And at that, they're mediocre, low-budget, independent, schlocky horror films. I don't know if he would be trusted in doing a high or big-budget film like A Nightmare on Elm Street, but you never know. Maybe he can, if he knocks it out of the park with Terrifier 3, then I think offers will come his way. Ali G, I have to head out. Ali G, sorry, I'm saying Ali G. Ali girl, I have to head out, Barry. Have a good, have to cook supper. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day. Enjoy the stream. Thanks for joining in, Ali girl. I can't believe I called you Ali G. If you're away, maybe you'll see this after the fact, but have a good day. Have a good supper. Ryan Olicher said, what's your favourite Anthony Hopkins movie? Oh, Anthony Hopkins movie. I'm going to have to say the obvious one, and you know it's coming. Silence of the Lambs. Cynthia J. I like Winnie the Pooch. Winnie the Pooch. I like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I don't like it. I've not seen part 2 yet. It's another one I need to see, and I heard it's infinitely better than the first movie, but the first one was not good. Not good at all. Go Games, the Knuckles show coming out soon looks interesting, and I'm hyped for Sonic 3. Yeah, I'm looking forward to both of them. The Knuckles show looks better quality than I thought it would. Sonic 3, yeah, looking forward to that as well. I've seen that Keanu Reeves has been cast as Shadow in Sonic 3. I don't know half these characters. I only know Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, and obviously Dr. Robotnik, because I played the first 3 Sonic games on the Sega Mega Drive and Master System. But when it comes to other characters, I'm assuming those characters came after Sonic 3 because I stopped playing Sonic after Sonic 3. So I don't know. I don't even know who Shadow is. Is he like from Sonic CD or something like that, or whatever came out after? Don't know. Mark Jones, would you ever do a watch along, drink along live stream? Yeah, probably would. I mean, I've done watch alongs in the past and just had a couple of beers while doing the watch alongs. I wouldn't drink Buckfast like you though, Mark. Apologies. Taking a drink of my healthy water. Oh, Jean's not leaving, she's staying. Oh, even better. Yeah, Kevin Bacon's too old. Absolutely. David said Jareth Bankins, who played one of the goons in the Twisted Metal TV show, would make a great Freddy. He's got a slender look and he's only 37. I don't know if it was maybe you that said that before. Jared Bankins. Just going to Google him. Jared Bankins. Yeah, I don't know if it was you that said it before, David, but somebody recommended him before. I've never seen him in anything, so I don't even know what to go by. But looking at the images, no, he looked not bad. Another person before he passed away, sadly, that I would have liked to have seen play Freddy Krueger was Billy Drago, if you know who that is. He would have played a good Freddy. Master System is the Master System for us to. Right, okay. It's weird that you had the Sega Master System and then the Sega Genesis, whereas we had the Sega Master System and the Sega Mega Drive. Don't know why they changed the names for different countries, but they did. What's your favorite modern video game of all time? Well, I'm a massive football fan, so naturally it would be FIFA because I play FIFA every year. However, if you take FIFA out of the equation, I'm going to have to say Uncharted 4. I love Uncharted 4. I played the multiplayer in Uncharted more than the actual game itself. So because of the multiplayer and how great that multiplayer is, I never get sick of the multiplayer. You do the same 5 maps in every multiplayer and you play against the same kind of people all the time. But there's something about it I just don't get sick of it. We'll wrap it up in about 15 minutes or so, guys. I want to try and get this done before past. It's 5 past just now. So past wherever you guys are, or just before past, then we'll try and we'll try and finish it up there. I've not even got through. It's good that we've gotten a lot of interactions tonight. I didn't realize I'm going to get so many interactions in my first live stream back. Hopefully, it's leaves us in good stead for David Effrey on Saturday. Coming up on the channel as well, I've actually just done a recording with Chris Stanley. A lot of you guys will know him as Cosplay Chris. So we've both done. Oh, let me just get that chat away. So we've both done a video on Australian horror films. Chris is from Australia, and I thought it'd be good to get some insight from someone who's actually from the country and how he feels about Australian horror and how people interact with each other in Australia with regards to Australian horror. Because I did say to him that Australian horror is like a genre of its own, like a subgenre in the horror genre. And it would be good to hear his thoughts on that. So we done a collaboration this morning on the channel, and I'm just going to be editing that and putting it out in the channel. And he's actually coming to Glasgow next year, where I live. So we're going to meet up and we're going to have a couple of drinks, and we will maybe try and do something for our channels as well, like in face to face, which would be quite cool for my channel and his channel. And he's got 2 channels. He's got a Cosplay Chris channel, which is over 300,000 subscribers, so he's huge. And he started a second channel that's dedicated to movie reviews and movie news, and he's already at 11,000 subscribers. So he's doing very well on his second channel as well. Just catching up in the chat here. Cynthia said, forgive my spelling. I'm at work. Don't worry about it, Cynthia. Everybody makes mistakes. I understand what you're trying to say anyway, so that's fine. Mark says, I'll drink it for you the next time you do one, Barry. Yeah, you can drink the Buckfast. David said, I put a little video together making my pitch for Bankins as Freddy. His character in Twisted Metal is a bit of a sicko that takes joy in torturing others. I think the only problem with that, Davey, is if you've got someone that is like Freddy Krueger so much in the show that they're in, if people enjoy his character in that show, would they think he's playing the same character again in A Nightmare on Elm Street? Or is he just like a one-trick pony? I don't know who he is, so I don't know if it's a great choice or not, but it would be interesting. I done a video last 6 months ago or something about who's going to be playing the next Freddy. I don't think I mentioned that guy. Go Games. My personal favourite video game of all time is Little Nightmares. Absolute masterpiece. Same with the second. Never, ever heard of that in my life. Little Nightmares. 2 seconds. And I agree with Cynthia. Cynthia said, Nightmare on Elm Street, they need to change the story a bit. I think so too. I think with the original franchise, it was great to begin with because it was scary, dark, and moody. And then they went the comedy route with part 3 and after. Part 3 was comedy, but I still had the horror aspect to it. But after that, it got funnier and funnier. And when I say funnier, they tried to get funnier, and it just didn't work. But they need to change it up a bit. Yeah, definitely agree. Yeah, Chris is such an awesome dude. We actually mentioned you as well, David. Chris brought you up, so it's good that everyone's chatting to each other within the community. Comments. Here we go. I like Screaming Ice Cream said Texas Chainsaw 3 or The Next Generation. It's actually not that far apart. A lot of people have The Next Generation at the bottom of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre lists. But for me, I actually like that film. I don't know why. Don't ask me why I like it. I just do. But I also like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 as well. Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw 3. So there's not that much between them. If I have to choose one, I would say Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw 3. But there's not that much between them, to be honest. James Duffin said, subscribe to David Effrey the other day, thanks to The Slaughtered Lamb. Not watched yet, but looking forward to binging the back catalogue with a bottle of Bucky. Don't drink the Buckfast, guys. Please don't do it. Unless you're from Buckfast Abbey. But yeah, it's good that you're subscribed to Davey. And if you guys are in the chat and you don't know who Davey is, check his channel out. You'll love it. And he's got the most soothing voice ever. And I did say that I'd like to have Davey's voice as my Alexa. It would make my Alexa more bearable. Just. Chase Hutchins said, any opinions on the new Crystal Lake TV show? Ways to do it well or ways to ruin it? I think if you're going to do it well, you need to build it up. Don't give us adult Jason straight away. I think a lot of people want what we want, but if you give us a slow build and an interesting way, I think we can afford to wait. So at the beginning, you could make Jason really young. His mum could be getting abused by his stepfather, and it's about the mum killing the stepfather. They could make it like Bates Motel, where it focuses on Pamela for a good bit of the show, and then Jason gets older, and then he goes to the Camp Crystal Lake. He has the accident, and then that's when Pamela starts to freak out, kill people, and then she could maybe die, and then Jason could come back. There's so many seasons you could get out of a Friday the 13th film. I think the backstory of Jason is more interesting than the backstory of Michael Myers. So you could do a good few seasons if you take your time. But how to ruin it? I would say ruin it by giving us the same things we've had over and over again and just not liking it, or not giving the fans what they eventually want, and that is Jason in a hockey mask. If you don't give us Jason in a hockey mask, people just won't like it. I was like, Emilio, the mighty duck man. I swear to God. I was like, I tipped my hat like this. Yeah, that's from A Night at the Roxbury. Anyway, you said, I believe you're a Real Madrid fan. Great game. I'm a Falkirk fan. I'm excited for more Player Witch news. That's the most random comment ever. I'm not a Real Madrid fan, by the way. I'm a Rangers fan. And you're a Falkirk fan. That's a shame. But I think Real Madrid are good. If I had to choose between Real Madrid and Barcelona, I would choose Barcelona. I prefer Barca to Real, but it depends who they're playing against. And yes, I'm also excited for more Blair Witch news. I love the Blair Witch Project, and the fact that Lionsgate and Blumhouse are joining forces to give us something, then I'm looking forward to it. I know that a lot of people don't like Blumhouse, and I mentioned that in my video that I done last week, that yes, it's Blumhouse, but Blumhouse did give us the Paranormal Activity franchise, and I really like the Paranormal Activity franchise. So if they can give us something half as decent as the first 3 Paranormal Activity movies, then we could be onto a winner. But I love your name. I was like, Emilio. Resident Evil games are good. Played the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. Yeah, I played the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game for about a week, and then I got bored of it because it was just the same old, same old. And it's not like Uncharted 4 multiplayer where you can enjoy the same old, same old. I just think it's too repetitive. Those types of games, I'm not really a big fan of. I like the open world games where you can do what you want, especially multiplayer. So if they can change it up a bit, then I'll play them more. And thanks for staying up late for us. No, thank you. If you're a Falkirk fan, are you not from Scotland? Anyway, again, I'm going to call it quits in about 10 minutes, though, guys. So we'll call it quits soon. Another topic that I want to mention is, of course, Halloween. Ever since the announcement of the Halloween TV show, we've not really had anything since. And I think that's because they're probably going to be waiting for what happens with Camp Crystal Lake. I think if Camp Crystal Lake is successful, then they're going to go full steam ahead with this TV show. But even if Camp Crystal Lake is not successful, I still think they're still going to be going full steam ahead, but they might change a few things. Things that didn't work in Camp Crystal Lake, they'll probably leave out of the Halloween TV show and vice versa. So it's good that Camp Crystal Lake is essentially acting as the guinea pig for the Halloween TV show, what they could do right, what they can do wrong. They'll just sit back and watch to see what they do with the Crystal Lake. So it's annoying because I want to give more Halloween content out there. Only Halloween content I can really do just now is discussing the previous films or what I'd like to see coming out of this TV show or even future movies. So yeah, I want to get back into more Halloween content, but at the moment it's a slog to try and come up with new content because I've said it all, I've done it all and discussed it all, but hopefully we can get more Halloween stuff going on now. Speaking of Halloween, we've got Gil Games saying, unpopular opinion, but the David Gordon Green Halloween trilogy are the top 3 best Halloween films in my opinion. I wouldn't, well, it is unpopular right now because a lot of people like to crap on new stuff, especially Halloween Ends. But I would say that out of the latest Halloween trilogy, right now, again, my opinion changes all the time, but right now, I think the highest rated one for me is Halloween Ends, and that would probably sit at the moment at number 4 for me, behind Halloween at number 1, 1978. Halloween H2O is my number 2, and Halloween 4 is my number 3. So in at number 4 would be Halloween Ends, but again, it varies. It varies depending on how I'm feeling. Cynthia said, will you watch the remake to the Blair Witch Project? Absolutely. I will be there opening night. Mark said, I brought up with a Rangers family, but I'm a Kilmarnock fan. Well, Kilmarnock fans are essentially Rangers fans anyway, so you're still a Rangers fan. I'm in a household where my wife is a diehard Celtic fan, and I'm a diehard Rangers fan. So when it comes to Old Firm days, we're not in the same house. She goes to her dad's to watch the game, or her uncle's, and I watch it myself because we can't watch it together because we'll probably split up. My dad's side, they're all Rangers fans, and my mum's side, they're all Celtic fans. So naturally, I took my dad's side. However, my son supports Celtic because of his mum. He's a mama's boy. David Urban said, oh, got a little fly or something. David Urban said, hi all, wow, Barry's up late. I am up late. It's 20 past 12 at night. I have the day off work tomorrow, thank God. So I can be up late. And that's why I'm testing the waters with this Wednesday night, because at the moment I'm not working on Thursday mornings. That's my day off. So I'm going to see how these live streams go. At the moment, I've got 15 people watching. I did have 30 people watching at some point about 20 minutes ago. I think that's where it's peaked at the moment. If I can get at least 30 people coming in and out, then I'll see if Wednesday nights are the thing for me, and hopefully I can build back my audience up to the hundreds again. Who knows? David Effrey says, we'll debate H2O, Barry. Yes, myself and David, we've got a little idea for a project where we're discussing a film that we've got contrasting opinions on. And I think at the moment, H2O is one of those. I'm on the positive side of H2O, and David is on the negative side of H2O. So I think it will be a healthy debate as to David giving me his negatives and me trying to give him positives to his negatives, and vice versa. I will give him my positives and he'll give me the negatives to those positives, and vice versa again. So look out for that eventually. I was like, Emilio said, LOL, I recall you loved Halloween 2018. We all make mistakes. I actually still do love Halloween 2018, so you can still call it a mistake because I still love it. See, that's the thing. Even if it's not in my top 4, it doesn't mean I don't love it. It just means I love most of the franchise. Most forgettable Ghostface, it's got to be Charlie from Scream 4. Chase Hutchins said, Halloween ends? I think you mean Christine too. No, I don't. But that'd be cool. Go Games said, believe it or not, but I haven't actually watched a Blumhouse film I haven't liked. And I've watched a lot of Blumhouse stuff, and nothing they do is bad, in my opinion, making them my favorite movie production. Power to you. I think their stuff's gotten a little worse now, but Blumhouse are generally not too bad. I mean, I didn't really like The Exorcist Believer, and is Night Swim Blumhouse? If that's Blumhouse, then I didn't like that. Gene Widdicombe said, "You're a Rangers fan. Awesome. I didn't know you liked hockey. It's not New York Rangers, unfortunately, Gene. It's Glasgow Rangers, the soccer team, the football team. But I do like hockey. I grew up as a Mighty Ducks movie fan, so naturally I was interested to watch ice hockey. And I used to play roller hockey when I was younger. So I would go about with my Mighty Ducks top. But eventually I settled on Colorado Avalanche. That was my favorite ice hockey team at the time. And I would watch the Stanley Cup. But unfortunately, I'm from the UK, so the Stanley Cup wasn't on till like 4 in the morning. So I couldn't really catch too many games. And eventually I just stopped watching ice hockey. So don't watch ice hockey anymore. But I loved it back in the late 90s. David Irwin said, "Oh man, I got an interview in 10 hours. I'm here because I can't sleep. Hopefully, this stream will wind me down." Barry, did you like The First Omen? I haven't seen The First Omen yet, David, so I'm eventually going to watch it. I'm looking forward to it. And good luck for your interview. And if anything's going to make you sleep, then it will definitely be my voice. So hopefully, this stream can help you go to sleep. Gil Games said, "My family support Rangers. I've never really gotten into football myself." Yeah, I mean, I can see a lot of people, or less and less people, liking football these days. For those of you guys who are not from Scotland, football is soccer. But yeah, less and less people are watching football. I mean, I watch football less now than I did 10, 15 years ago. I'm more into my films anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. Last thing I'll cover before we leave here, because I'm leaving in about 3 or 4 minutes, is Scream. I'll be doing more Scream content. Like I said, I've got the future of the Core 4 coming out. I've actually recorded a couple of Scream videos that I've not edited yet, so look forward to them in the future. But if there's anything, and I'll say this to everybody all the time, but if there's anything that you guys think I should cover and would be interesting enough to cover and would get some traction, then by all means, let me know. If not in the live stream, after the fact in the comments section and through social media and stuff like that. I'm always willing to listen and see if anyone else has got any good ideas that we can discuss for good videos in the future, and not just like pre-recorded videos, maybe some live streams as well coming up. I was like, Emilio said, "My son's great etc. founded for what? One of your family members founded Falkirk. I'm excited to visit the area soon from Texas. Just got home from the bar watching the Champions League match. Thanks for staying up late." That's brilliant. Actually part of Falkirk. No wonder you support Falkirk then. And Marcel said, "Hello, I'm watching from Austria. It's 1 a.m. and I like your channel." So you are just an hour ahead of me in Austria as well. That's cool that we're getting people from not just the US and Canada and the UK, we're getting people from Austria as well. So welcome, Marcel. And you're also excited for Terrifier 2. I'm excited for it. It's lower on the list of excitement, but if we see that first trailer, yeah, Terrifier. If we see that first trailer and it's looking good, then it'll be right up there. But so far, I think Maxine is my most anticipated horror film of 2024. So I think that's all for tonight, guys. I've done almost 2 hours, and it's just really a test live stream to see how I get on with interactions at this time of night for me. and you guys over in the US and stuff. So it was pretty good. I got a lot more comments than I thought I would. So that's always good and not embarrassing. David Owen said, Barry, I know it's a lot of work, but would you consider ranking all the entries in the big 3 franchises? You know, like Cody Leach's 31 on 31 vids. I've ranked them. I think I've ranked them personally on social media and stuff and done something similar, but I don't really want to step on toes. I know that if you do videos that are similar to other people, they might get upset about it and stuff like that. So I don't know if I would do 31 on 31. However, I don't mind ranking big franchises. I did do a ranking for all the Halloweens and all the Scream movies put together. So check that out if you haven't already seen that. But adding more franchises in, I could definitely do it, but I don't want to make it identical to other channels. I want to try and keep it my own, but never say never. We've got the first super chat of the night. It's from, I was like, Emilio, here's to 100k subs soon. Keep it up, Barry. Thanks very much. And thanks for supporting the channel with your super chat. And yeah, 100k is coming up soon. With the way the channel's going just now, I did get a big jump with all my subscribers coming. I did mention at the beginning about my subscribers at the start of the video. So if you missed that, check it out again after the fact. But yeah, I'm looking forward to 100k. With the way it's going just now, I would imagine I would have 100k by maybe the start of next year or the end of this year, possibly. If I can get 100k by the end of 2024, then that would be phenomenal. But again, it's not about getting the subscribers. I want to get the chats with people. I like to communicate with people, live streams, even when I do pre-recorded videos. The comments are the most important thing for me. If I can get 100,000 comments, I would take that over 100,000 subscribers because it's the real interaction that I enjoy more. But again, thanks very much for your super chat because it goes towards the channel. So thanks again for that. So I think that's it, guys. Hopefully, yeah, I'll see you for the love of horror for definite. And we're all saying good night to each other, which is great. Great stream, Barry. Looking forward to more. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to doing my Saturday night stream. It's going to be a little bit earlier. We're starting it at 9 p.m. here in the UK, 1 p.m. Davies time, and I think about 4 p.m. EST, which is Florida and stuff like that. We need to get you your first play button. I don't even know how that works, to be honest. I think you get a play button after 100k, but I don't know how you get it sent to you. If you get it sent, I don't know. But yeah, looking forward to that anyway. And Davey said we'll get you 100k by the end of the year. It's possible. If I don't get there, I'm not going to cry about it because it's a personal goal that I would like to get, but it's not something that I'm striving towards. I just want to get the community built back up again in these kind of live streams and stuff. So that'd be first and foremost. But I do know that if I don't get 100k by the end of this year, then with all the Halloween content that's going to be coming and all the Scream content that's going to be coming, then I'm sure I'll get there eventually. But that's me all cut up, guys, with your chats and the upcoming content on the channel. So thanks again for everyone who's joined the chat throughout. There's some people that are still here from the very beginning, 2 hours ago, which I really appreciate. So it means so much to me that so many people are still wanting to chat live, which is good. But you guys were my guinea pigs for my first tester of coming back into the live streams, and I think it was semi-decent, which is good. So there we go. Oh, we've got another chat coming in before we go. I need the pink Wolfman's got Nards today. Well, they are available, I believe. If you go to my spring store, they should be available. I don't know if there's pink ones there, but I'm sure there's hoodies there anyway. So you can take your pick. My links to my store is always in my comments in my descriptions anyway. So if you're interested in buying any merch, then by all means, click on the spring store and you'll see some of the stuff that's there. Some is pretty cool. I bought stuff myself. This is from my spring store. That's from the Monster Squad. Maybe you won't understand it, guys. But anyway, guys, I'm going to call it quits just now. So Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.